I'll just step in the chair like this.
Yeah, that works. Hello, welcome to the Art Team Office
Hello.
Hours. We're live coming
Hello.
from the Resonite workshop.
Workshop world.
Yeah. Hello.
I'm a little big for the chairs. Heads out of frame.
That
Here we go.
works.
Feel free to ask this question. Just make sure the message ends in a question mark, and it'll pop up over here for us.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, we've been doing work on the help
Help
tab
tab.
and the
Yeah.
locales for that. Over 400 locale strings are being added to the file. The translators are gonna have fun with that one.
For those unfamiliar, locale strings are basically lines of text that are basically put into a system where, depending on which language you choose in Resonite, it will choose that locale file, which contains all the different strings, and using components within Resonite, you can append those strings that are translated or not. As you can tell, if something isn't translated yet, if it has like uh, kind of like a code name like help dot controllers or controls dot VR controls or desktop controls or something like that. And the help tab, which is going to be a new tab within your browser in Resonite or dashboard in in Resonite, will have like lots and lots of strings written for it. As Ru said,
Yep.
I think I
We are going back and updating some of the older ones. So we'll have to see about updating some of the older locale files as well.
yeah.
We should pause the music.
I muted on my end.
Okay, that's good. I was worried about copyright.
Play your own music, folks. I ain't taking any chances.
they get Twitch gets kind of angry.
Ah, that is a good question from Sejin.
And
What are
those
those
are
worlds?
indeed world orbs. Well, at least the big ones. The little ones are kind of just like particles. The big ones are active sessions, actually. If you fly into the middle of that session.
Let me
So
just go
they're
near
not.
one and not in one, just to show. It shows like what the top 6 active or populated worlds are. Ranging from red being the least populated, top most populated world, to purple being the most populated world. And they update every so often. And they're all animated around the world here to a point where they never intersect with each other. Well, that looks fun. Might stop by there later after the stream. There's one in the center, it's just a static orb. If I go into it, that's the sound it makes whenever you go into any of those world orbs. And in the teleporter as well. Satan. Ah,
Oh yeah, like
the
my name, the J is like silent.
yeah, or pronounced like a Y. A little bit. And Satan asks, what is the name of the world? Well, technically, it's based off a world that Raivi made called, well, Raivi's Workshop. We're in a different instance of it
A little bit.
that is, let me just adjust it for you. There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of Rayleigh's like private worlds that they host for building stuff, and they have a version of it up for us to use.
Yeah. There's a public version running 24/7 on their own server. It's not like a world that's published, but it's a world that is hosted for people to build within.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I can show off the tropical plants because I finished them.
Yeah, bring him
I'm gonna
in.
grab those real quick.
As we showed off the while in progress versions and the LODs for the older ones, I am going to look for the help tab. Assets, help screen.
Got all these little plants.
I'll move this to the
Lagging a
side
little
for
bit.
now. That's just the help
There
tab.
we go. These are actually the plants from a map that we made like a little bit ago. However, they were pretty old, so I updated the textures and made new models for them. These are kind of based on the CCO like open game art, um, just with updated models and textures. They also have LODs. You can find them in the same folder that they're in. It's the Resonite plants folder. But yeah, should be good to go to use these. There's windy versions and static versions. Um, yeah, put these over here for now.
Depending on if the locales that I locally replaced is still active. Right now, we've been going through and actually writing the different portions of the. Oh, it's still attached. I set it to manual. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm just trying to remember how the camera worked with that. Alright. But yeah, the general gist of the status of this is all the functionality for this help tab is pretty much done. Rave is going to be going through and adding the actual implementation of the dash portion of this, adding this onto your dash itself, and pretty much us just going through writing down the different parts of it. And as you can see, we added a few new pages here. Be much more in this category as well too. And you can see some of these are written, some of these aren't. But this is using that while in progress locale string. This is gonna have like a whole bunch of different key shortcuts and all that for keyboard.
I wish I could show you my view because for me, all of it's all filled out since I have the locale file in.
Yeah, it is filled out for me too.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, that's cool.
Yep. There's all the formatting I did for it. And...
Yeah, we'll add the icons, and I think what we should do for this one is do it the same way we did with this, but add like the icon next to it. Is that way?
Yeah.
You know what's what. Yeah, I think that's something that we can definitely do later today. I did notice some questions though as well. There isn't really too much else to show on the help tab itself, but mainly just that. If I set it to world, there we go.
A lot of the help tab is going to be text, pictures, and video for the most part. Other than being a fancy like list of hints, we still want to make a lot of the content like take some pictures for some of the categories like context menus, so that there's an actual like visual for people to look at whenever they're showing someone something. Because not only will you have this in the dash, but you'll be able to like just show this to new users if they can't find it or can't even figure out how to open their dash.
It will also be in the avatar gazebo, open to the pages relative to avatars, as well as a version of it in the tutorial world as well too.
Real quick, just to answer the question by Satan, I'm not sure if we support the Vive Focus. If you're having issues with it, make a GitHub for it, because if we don't support it, then that helps groups know that people want support for it, and they can take a look into it whenever they have time.
Satan has a good question. What capabilities does text formatting have? Like, can you do tables, grids, maybe some HTML and CSS stuff? Probably not as complex as that yet, but that sounds like something you could also.
It's UIX. You can do the tables and like the boxes and all those things, right? So that's going to be like the screen or UI part of that. And then as for the actual like text itself, like alignments and styles and stuff, that we support the rich text formatting. So you can take all of these right here and use it for text. And that's what I did for one of the pages that we saw earlier, the locomotion page. So I could color the text, move it around, do different things with it. And this page right here will actually describe and show examples for how to use all of those things. And you can just throw that into button. Yeah, so you can copy like the actual like settings for it. You can use these in messages whenever you're talking to someone on Resonite, or basically like anywhere you can enter text into the game. We're just using it here on UIX panels.
Yeah, and the same thing with things like the commands and all that. This is what they look like with the actual locale strings in place. It looks really nice, and you can like just copy each command.
Yep. You can also find a lot of these on the actual wiki as well. So if you look, I think you search text formatting on the wiki, you'll find the same information. We just wanted to also have a easy way to access it within the game as well.
Yeah. Of course, not everything here will have the time to fill out at first. That's why when I hover over some of these, it says coming soon. So,
yep.
What our main goal is to make sure that all of this is filled out, and then as much as this we can with all of these. If we have time, we could even go over how to set up Steam bindings, for example. But with something like this, it's easy to update in your UI because it's a default object. And whenever we update the default object, every time you start up Resonite again, it'll update to the newest version. And whenever, say, we update the tutorial or the Avatar Gazebo, we can just put those in there. That's one of the reasons why we didn't put it in the Cloud Home, is because it's a bit harder to update the Cloud Home at the moment. But one thing that is going to be made in the Cloud Home, I'm going to see where IUB put it. Or I think they put it in...
Somebody mentioned that they're on the GitHub for this page, or for the help tab. You can go on there and suggest different tabs that you'd like to see explained. Like if there is a concept that you think would help, or would help other people figure out things, or will need more explanation, you can just suggest it as a tab on there, and we can add it to this.
I'm looking for the link right now. so I can see which number it is. It's 1123.
Yep, I believe if you go to the GitHub and just type in hashtag 1123, it should just bring you there
Mm-hmm.
or show up. Um, there is also a Google Doc that we link in there, and that has the locale strings. I believe we need to update it still today.
Yeah.
But if people want to get like an early start on translating some of those, we'll have like in progress versions of it on there. I do recommend waiting until we're done like writing it all, but if you want to like get an idea of what we're going to be putting on there, then you can see it.
So to answer Satan's question there, does the help tab have synchronized data with the Resonite wiki? No, it doesn't. This is like completely independent. It does have links to it though. Say for example, if there's something that is there a example here? Okay, here's actually another example too. Some uh, some pages link to others within here. Like for example, this goes to locomotion, and some of them that are like not done yet or needs more complex information, it would link to the wiki. We do have the link to the wiki right here as well too. Also, I noticed more folks join in the stream. Welcome to the Resonite office hours.
Hello.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Yeah.
Some of the stuff is pulled directly from the wiki for this thing, but a lot of it is just written up for simplicity's sake.
Yeah.
It's not being automatically updated by the wiki either. But it's something we can think of right now. It's just easier to do it this way. Um, and then
Yeah.
if it ever needs updating, like he just said, we can just kind of change it on our side and it'll just update.
Mm-hmm. It'll also be within the essentials, like the settings menu, etc., so that you can just spawn it out and it'll be just there. And Satan asks, why is my name Aegis? Well, two reasons. One, because I like the name because of, well, shields are pretty neat. That's what it means in ancient Latin. And also, ship in Halo had that name as well. Specifically, the ship that is above the map Sand Trap is called Aegis Fate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. As well as a iconic shield in Destiny is called the Aegis. The more you know. So I 3D modeled that shield one of these days. I'm gonna find it.
Just don't ask Aegis what the words in Sandtrap mean. We have a visitor.
We have a special guest. A surprise guest, I guess. I gotta find it somewhere. I remember modeling it in Blender.
Oh, the shield?
Yeah.
While they get that, I'm gonna pull out one of the
Aha.
plants.
Custom assets. There we go. I've been messing around in Substance Painter for this one. I don't think it functions anymore. used to like a bubble around
Where'd they
you.
go?
Hmm?
I thought I saw them come in, but
They were right behind you on screen, right up
there
on
you
that
are.
platform.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You're
Hello.
alive.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello. I
Hello.
intrude.
You're our special guest
Surprise
now.
guest.
You're surprise guest. Hello.
Hello.
We're showing off some of the plans, the help screen,
E.
answering some questions. Move over here a little bit. There we go.
Oh,
Hiding over there. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions if you guys want. Help tab or any of the stuff we got going on.
Some of the other things I've been working on has been mainly messing around with some FL Studio a bit, trying to design new ambience for the local home, as well as dabbling in icon work.
Oh yeah, those are the
Tree.
updated plants. They have character colliders, by the way.
can
The
see.
tree just stole Fruits.
We can move with the 3.
You're prop surfing with a tree.
Oh yeah, that's actually another thing I should mention. Some of the other plants that we made didn't come with colliders. I set up some primitive ones on these, so they should be good to go if you want to use them in maps without them being too heavy. If you're going to use like maybe several thousand of them, I would recommend taking the collider off. But as they are, they should be fine. The smaller plants definitely take the collider off if you're going to use them, because they don't really need it. But it's like a sphere collider, so it's still pretty simple either way.
I have a question for you, Fruix, since you're here.
Oh,
You think this is possible?
what is possible? Oh, a rainbow one.
Totally did not whip up a render before the stream.
I mean, you could probably find a company that could make that. But
Interesting.
I'm really not too familiar with like manufacturing. And there's like,
So
well, you could potentially actually 3D print it because there's like,
yeah,
there's like the gradient filaments.
I can make that cover
Yeah,
because I
So I could
have
make-
a resin printer.
yeah. Wait, resin?
Yeah, I have like several gallons of like high quality water soluble resin and
How do
a
you color
resin
it?
printer. I mean, all you'd have to do is, well, I do it with a film, right? So you print in clear and then use like a film over it.
Ah, okay.
Another
I was thinking
idea.
like one of those, like the gradient filaments.
Yeah, almost like a hydro dipping.
Yes, it would be like that. They sell a like a really thin film that you can stretch over stuff like that. They use it for like visors, sunglasses. I've seen people use it on like vision helmets. So you would do it in clear and then put that over it. At least that's how I would do it, because it would come out a little bit smoother than say like with the 3D printing lines. You could also vacuum form it, which wouldn't be hard either. I used to actually do like prop making and things like that, so I could look into it. That'd be cool.
I had another one I gotta like make a render of, but it was like yellow and it had like your stripes on it.
Oh, I know there's like a company called like Shapeways and they do like printing in color, like 3D printing in color. But like when I did that, like I don't think the material would be good for this because it was more like a sandstone kind of feel to
Yeah.
it.
Mm.
Do I think it was where they fire the particles at it really fast to get them to stick rather than like hot nozzling them out.
Mm.
I've seen a manufacturing method where someone was experimenting with a laser where they basically blasted a raw 3D print to make a mirror finish on it as well, basically fusing the plastic together on the surface.
You know what? Maybe that's what to do this weekend. I will set up a resin printer, and maybe we can print some like Resonite tools.
Oh my gosh.
Where's my techno weird?
The
I-
sun
It is
gun.
actually
Oh man, that'll be cool.
kind of interesting, like making like the tools like real objects. I know like some people have been kind of asking about it as a merch. Like some people are like, you know, if they could like buy like the dev tool, like they would get one.
I think
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
that'd be
challenging
cool.
to do.
I think I know how I would do it to even make it work functionally as a compass as well.
Oh.
You basically, you know those airplane compasses? Or like ship compasses where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
in water? That's what this is inspired off of. So what you would do, I'm gonna just bring this close to the camera, is you would take like a sphere, and let me get a brush too. There we go. I think how it would be manufactured, you have like a sphere, kind of like a solid acrylic sphere, maybe with a seam around it to be like sealed, and then another sphere on the inside, and in between is a liquid, like enough
Yep.
where it looks like it's floating in the air, and then on the center sphere is like casted in clear acrylic as well. Another layer of clear acrylic is that gizmo. And maybe, if it's even possible, to put a magnet or piece of iron somewhere on the inside to make it float or orientate itself somehow. Maybe one of the arrows. And then for the for the floating I would think for the floating like pieces on the outside here, either wires connected to a ball bearing around here, so it can just spin like a fidget spinner, or still be on a ball bearing, but in order to make it look like it's floating, have like other pieces of transparent acrylic or ABS plastic, so it's like
Even if we don't
sturdy
get 'em,
like a
like-
Lego.
Even if we don't get them like super mass produced, I think it'd be interesting to contact like a prop studio to see what they would think about making some of these. 'Cause I know of some cool ones you could try contacting.
Making one of the brushes would be really nice.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool too.
Like it could be like either like a touchscreen stylus or a regular brush, so that would have like dual use. So let me see if
If
we
you
can.
put a small battery in there and then like a LED or like a color changing LED, you could do long exposure like drawing pictures with it.
Oh, that would be cool. It's like
Yeah.
almost like you're drawing in the air.
When you said that you're gonna like make it like, you know, functional, I was like, wait, you're gonna make the dev tool work IRL?
If
So
I
you can
do
have
the first person I would trust that kind of power would be you. Other than duplicating one for myself first. Yeah.
I'll duplicate a bunch of fruit. No, I'll open the root.
Oh
Which
no!
one never else.
We gotta hope that real
Imagine.
life has the
I think the inspector would explode.
But also has the entire universe to run it, so this which one's gonna win?
You're right. Creates singularity on accident. Oh no.
We can just delete it or undo.
Yeah, undo.
Oh yeah,
Just undo.
they do have those really cool, like, really thin neon LED tubes now. They just look like a small wire that you can use for lighting certain things.
Ah. Yeah. Oh, I keep on accidentally
Oh.
grabbing my sword.
The plushes, yeah. People have been asking for plushes for a while now.
I've had it somewhere asking for it. Like I wanted a fruit supply.
I'm gonna glue this together. Oops. Where's the glue tool? There it is.
There's like some like furries who made like plushes, and like they had like somebody like make them, so like almost like would be like looking who are they like using for those.
Set that aside.
I also used to make plushes.
Oh.
I had a lot of time at home when I was like dealing with a lot of medical stuff in the past. So I mostly spent a lot of time just learning how to do things, things that didn't require going inside. So I learned like sewing, 3D modeling, paper crafts, origami, pretty much anything I could get my hands on. So I've done a little
Crocheting.
bit of everything. Mm-hmm.
I
It
remember
was
we did
actually a
like
really cool method.
crocheting.
Hmm?
When I was at like elementary school, like we did crocheting, and I remember some classmates got like really into it.
Oh yeah. My brother got into that too. I used it in a different way because I learned that if you took like the acrylic yarn that they sell, you could do like a long braid of it and then weave in like cuts of it and then brush it out, and it would turn into like your tail,
Oh,
and it would just look, it would look and feel like an animal tail. It was cool. So
oh,
like a lot of the first tails that I made when I was doing like fursuit business stuff was made of just yarn.
oh. You're into. Oh,
Ooh, is this the picture and beyond? Oh, actually, a question for you, Fruits.
what?
Someone had asked earlier, do we support the what was it, the Vive Focus
It's Vision.
Vision?
Like, I'm like, I can pass like, like natively or not. Or like, if you can use it with Steam Link or something like that, I think that should work. But like running
Say
it
for like
natively,
face
I'll let
tracking
know.
stuff
Like
like that.
standalone. I don't know what it uses. I don't think it works out of the box.
Okay. There you go. It's a little bit of a better answer than because we weren't sure.
Yeah. It's more like people. I should like need like a request or something for it, so we can know
Yeah.
like what exactly is working, what's not working.
As with the help tab page, I recommend making a new GitHub for that issue on our GitHub. Just describe like what the issue is or feature, and yeah, that way it's written down.
Yep, we're about I think like halfway through the stream, so don't forget to ask any questions you might have about the platform content or you know what we got going on. I think it's going to be a pretty relaxed stream. Take a little. Should
Oh,
put
my
these
tracking's
like
being
in a
weird.
map somewhere.
How's my tracking weird? Oh, good more visitors.
Yes, we have another visitor.
too.
My tracking's freaking out.
Ah, we got a question
The chairs
from.
don't like how long my legs are.
We have a question from Qualitorium, or hold on. Qualitarium. Okay. How goes the Avatar Gazebo? At the moment, pretty much a lot of the worlds I've been waiting on the help tab, the community events board, and a couple of fixes with reflection probes. So, but everything else pretty much is there, at least what we want within there, at least the very first version of it. It's going to be something along with everything else, something that we can update over time.
Art team additions you'll see pop up after the splitting is stabilized. Some of the fixes that we have made into those maps require some of the improvements from the splitting in order to be fully realized. So that's when you can kind of expect those things to show up. Things like the help tab, however, I believe we can drop that at around the same time. It's a lot easier on that one. It is not relying on anything yet.
I had Blender running in the background in render it mode. There we go.
Oh no.
At least I wasn't changing the view, so it wasn't actively like re-rendering the view.
Oh, whoops. Accidentally pulled a question out. Move that right here. There we go.
Trying to look for the other render I did of that headset. Just as a what if.
Hiding in the bushes. Let me get a couple more of these. There we go. Ooh.
More
Oh, you can't even
plants.
see that one.
Plant.
Careful, these have pretty big sphere colliders, just so people can grab them. Well, the trees are better.
There.
I'm distracted.
Got you.
Mm.
I'll be right back. Let me go over here real quick. Where's the bubble?
I agree.
Our guest is AFK.
Ah.
I think they realized we were streaming.
They just got new body tracker straps.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna test them out today.
Also, yes, the work from the planning has been pretty rough on everyone, but hopefully people are taking some time to take breaks.
Oh,
Mm.
I'm gonna throw Light DB into fire.
Oh.
It's bad. Why is it so bad?
And you ran out of space too.
It's so bad.
Oh no. Also, to answer Satan, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I know the fandom has a lot of like creative people in it, and you know, we do support a lot of creativity here. It's one of the reasons why I showed up, even before I knew everyone, was because I wanted to create things, and I saw how easily, at the time, that you could do it compared to like the Unity editor or Unreal Engine or Blender in some cases when it came to actually making like a game that multiple people can get onto. And it was a lot less restrictive in terms of if I had made a little game that I just wanted to share, as a really small developer, I couldn't say like put it on Steam right away because Steam takes forever. You could hold the green light thing, but in platforms like here, you can just make a fun little experience and just leave it for people to discover or show to your friends. And I think the ease of the ability to create and share stuff is what brings people in. And then the fandom wanting to also do that just finds a place.
Oh. There's like one thing that like I noticed though is because it feels like it's a little bit like self-perpetuating thing too because there's a lot of furries, so that brings more furries in. But it also
Yeah.
like sometimes we'll try to like post about Resonite like out like like in just general VR spaces, and oftentimes like some people will be like, oh, like it's all furries, like and they'll be like very upset or mean about it and downvote everything, and it kind of becomes a hard shape because like when you try to like reach out and like make it like okay, like we want like more like different demographics, more different people, like it kind of makes it harder.
Let's
I mean, while we do have a
That's
large
part of
like
it.
furry base, there are a lot of normal
There are,
just
yeah.
people as
Yeah.
well, and people who run around with anime avatars. I mean, you also have some team members that don't use furry avatars, say like Bob or Ariel, so people have places here. It's just
Yeah.
whether or not they're gonna join.
It's for
Looking at
everyone.
looking at the bigger
Yep.
picture within like the VR industry in general, like the topmost like oh, hold on. Prooks.
Sorry.
Hold on. Like over it real quick.
Hmm?
Oh no.
This kind of is like deja vu. I think I remember a picture like this being taken at one point.
There we go.
I was just looking where to put this because it's the colliders are missing my lasers.
Perfect. There you go. Looking at the bigger picture, pun intended, but the two largest like events in VR are within VRC, and one of them is VCAT, which is a Japanese like market like type event where people post their creations and stuff, whether it be like sharing it freely or like paid assets, almost like a marketplace. Another one is Ferality, which is the next largest one, which is a FurCon within VRC. So there's a higher chance of having either of those types of folks within any kind of VR platform in general.
Mm-hmm. You stole all the plants, Fruits.
Wanda was trying to grab things. Some kind of
Rotate
Google
this way.
pester some people.
Okay. It was good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for stopping by.
And hope the rest goes well.
Yeah. Take it easy when you can. We have a question from Ace on Twitch.
Ace on Twitch.
Any updates on the refresh icons? I also think we should have a bonfire after the splitting with the stuff like Light DB and Free Image. So, regards to the bonfire, like all the yearly badges, the badges that I was working on earlier were like the first pass of it, just like, okay, what can I think of, like off the top of my head? Just something to start off with. And it's like abstract versions of what the old ones were, plus some new ones. The next kind of pass for those are going to be more solidified in what they should be. They're kind of more or less going to look like. Let me get the example of the updated.
I will also say that it most likely won't be a bonfire for any new ones because we want to keep the those with what they were, like the history.
Yeah, there's some
We can think
older
of a different
ones.
type of badge. Yeah, because we're already using the bonfire in a place.
Did I put them? Content, Readiness projects, icons.
They're also going to be in the devlogs. I think you posted them there too.
Yes, but I want to get the latest version of the Bread Day icon because I did a little bit of an update on it. Ravy pointed out something I can do to it to make it nicer, and that is rounding out those sharp edges. Now this is what it looks like, and pretty much the new yearly icons will look a lot like these.
That was the bread icon for
Mhm.
when people have their
When you started
Resonite birthday.
your account, the day you made your account. Let me find the other ones.
Well, I definitely agree with Satan. I think that it's important to kind of be who you are and not really worry about it.
Yeah.
At least that's what I try to do. Is just be who I am.
It's what you do, not who you are. There's
I
the
can't remember the story of the bread. I just remember it always being like a baguette, and people would call it like the baguette day, and I think it was shortened to bread day after that.
I honestly forgot why it's the case. Also, here's like a newer version of the orange one. But I still kind of want to update this orange one. It's like it's kind of hard to see the lobes on the inside. What I might do is add little stripes. It's like
Yeah.
here's the other one.
I do think you should flip around the lobe on this one and just have it like small part up here.
Well, this one is like that's how they are for each other, so it's like opposite ends.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, yeah, I mean,
oh, like that.
but keep the green part where it's at. Or, you know what?
Just
maybe I should
rotate the whole thing.
This is complicated work here. There we go. Now, if I take this and move it here, this is science.
Oh, it's probably looking a certain way on your end. Oh, you mean like the leaf on the the shorter end? I'll see what I can do on that after I fix up the orange.
There we go. I like that.
Oh, I almost forgot about this badge too. This badge is potato.
There you go.
Oh, I see. Looks more like a pear.
You know. Well, that's kind of like those are. They kind of have like the little leaf bit on the shorter side. I'll put this. See, they're floating on the fly.
If only you can convert to SVG. Someday. Another question. Maybe a question for Resonance.
That would require a different type of rendering. You could make those spaces in 3D space. If you've ever seen any like versions of games that make 4D spaces in 3D renderers, that's more like how it would be. You wouldn't be able to fully visualize those things unless you could like affect the renderer. We don't have that kind of granularity for the engine yet, but you could still make the mathematical space and traverse it. So like if you want to have layers of like when you go through a plane, you could change scale or position or dimension just by changing like what you can see in a 3D space. But rendering of it's going to be the hard part. I used to have a box that we set up a long time ago where you could walk in a doorway and you would pop up in the box seamlessly at a different scale, and you could walk out of that and then back through it and then go down scale again. Kind of like one of those non-Euclidean hallways where you get shorter or larger.
Keep
so
going.
You can do those kind of things.
Going again and again and again and again until you hit floating point and then you just respawn, or you're just in the warbly zone.
Yep. I wish I still had that box. I need to recreate it again. At the time, it was a little heavy because it was doing like 8 portals.
Or you just go down.
To be able to look down into it and see them.
Or you go down small enough to the colliders just say, no, I give up. It's too small, and then you just fall through the ground. Even if it's a solid collider, it just can't handle it. Or just get stuck in the solid collider at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, something that we were thinking about doing, like after the splitting, is maybe looking into doing like game experiences or maybe just something a little bit more like interactive. But we only have a few plans on those at the moment, so nothing too big to announce. Just the thought of doing stuff like that. Maybe even trying to do events for it, I think would be fun if the community, that sounds like something the community wants. Similar to some of the creator jams, but maybe a little bit longer so that people have more time in order to make like a fully fledged thing.
Alongside that, we're also planning on updating the tutorial experience, like the tutorial world that you go to be an actual like gamified experience where you get to choose like what you want to learn about, and you go through kind of like a step-by-step journey of how does Resonite work on its fundamental basic things to more advanced things if you want to learn it. You can learn like some very niche things if you want to, or things that aren't for everyone, and just optionally like skip it if you want. Like for example, I don't think everyone wants to go through 0G or have the guts to go through it, and they don't have to. But it'll be fun to have like an area to teach users this is how 0G works. Now go across this chasm. It has no gravity. You can climb across rocks or something. Or teach users how to use teleport, or walk run, or even the regular climbing modes, or scaling objects. Yeah. Think of things like Portal, for example, where you get taught the different mechanics of the game over time by completing puzzles.
Based on Twitch asks, do you guys ever plan on making clips and questions and uploading them to the YouTube channel like what Proofs does with Resonance?
We could. It's just a matter of time, though. It's like a lot of we're wearing a lot of hats. It's late. Plus, I need to make a format of how they do it. I know they simply just take the question, scale it up, and then they know for sure on the timeline that's where it is. Yeah. I need to get back into the hang of like editing videos in general. I just usually go through, download the VOD from Twitch, and upload it when I get a chance, just so that Twitch doesn't delete it forever.
The only issue with that is that it would add a non-insignificant amount of time to the stuff that we're already doing, and as it is, like one of the other questions here is, how's the average day of work in Resonite? It's usually filled with a bunch of different things. So, oh, where's the camera?
On my head. Yeah, keep going. Didn't mean to.
I was gonna say, some of the main stuff that we is different per person. So since Ryobi does like say code and a majority of the protoflux for things, just because they're a little bit better at it, they'll be doing those sides of the projects that we're working on. So like the UX panel, Ryobi's really good with UX and the programming of that. Do they help the construction of the panel itself? And then I help out with the locale strings as well with Ryobi and Aegis. And we kind of just take all of our strengths, put them together, and then use them to make something. But we're usually doing that pretty much any time that we're together or active. And then if we're working on, say, something like official, like the help panel, we're usually working on a project that's going to, benefit multiple users anyway, or like the user base in itself. A lot of the stuff me and Aegis make, even in our free time, goes into the essentials for people to use. Like the plants in the background here, these are some things that I've been working on in my free time, and I'm providing them as an asset for people to use for whatever they want. And then I think a little bit extra for some of the stuff that isn't as visible is we're often working with Bob on the whole business side of things, trying to promote Resonite, provide marketing material and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff that we create, we can show the marketing team, hey, if you want to use this map in any promotional material, here's this. There's a lot of different things that happen. We're kind of everywhere all at once. Especially with the run up to the splitting, we've been going over every single asset we've ever made and making sure every single texture and every single model is updated. We've been going over the entire locale file, updating old and new strings, creating whole new like variables for that locale file, for like things that should have been there that weren't. Just making the process a little more standardized and streamlined, and it takes a lot of time to do all those things.
And like we're applying a lot of the stuff that we learned since like when we first launched Resonite, and from then on out it'll be much easier building things from there. But also we're refurbishing pretty much what we have now so that we can have more time later to like make out that new user experience that we want to do. Something that's more narrative, something that has lore, something that will also be modular as well too. So we can just update parts of it over time instead of just update the whole thing. Like the only thing that'll probably be still the way that we usually update things like all at once is probably the cloud home, because there's not really that much we can do to update cloud homes independently, because we don't want to override your own cloud home if you say made any changes on it. That's a big no-no. We could probably make it so that if you go to the default one, it'll take the latest default one that's in the version, and as well as we're going to be adding, Ravi's been working on a panel, kind of like a UIX panel, that'll pop up within the world if there's a new version of the Cloud Home available. And that will be within the newer version of the Cloud Home, because we can't backport it to the old one, unfortunately. Yep. But what we will do is we will announce in the Discord and probably elsewhere, hey, if you have an old Cloud Home, you want to try out the new one, which has pretty much like it will have the LODs, the new teleporter, the pop-up there, the deduplicated assets and lower resolution of the textures here and there.
Optimized colliders.
Yep, optimized colliders. Material colliders, which means once we set them up, the step zones, like all the pieces are set up to have the step zones, but the system that spawns out that holds all the sounds are still being worked on, like the sounds themselves, but the system is there, so people can just literally drag and drop that system into the world, and it'll just work. And as well as the colliders, the symbol colliders have been made so that you can change the materials of different parts of the pieces for the structure. Like the walls, the floors, the carpets are separate from the floors. It's all using like symbol colliders, which is pretty neat too. And
they're all set up with material relays, like unlike before, instead of changing the whole object, it'll change the feeding of the object when you use a material on the pieces. That way it's easier to change the whole relay. Like walls, you don't need to open the inspector and find the actual wall. You just click on it and it just changes.
I have yet to make this camera flip its view so I'm not like looking in the wrong direction.
Oh, and we'll also need to fix the gimbal locking that's on there. So notice when you rotate it, if you have it at perfectly 90-degree angles, it gimbal locks. So we'll have to do some
the camera?
Unmanned.
The streamer camera?
All of them.
That's strange. Oh, you're talking about the rotation for the thing. That Ravi is going to be rewriting that when they have time.
Yep.
So, yeah. For like alignment, because there's a auto script in there that rotates the camera, and when you take a picture, it should say if you're taking height-wise, it should take a picture of that, but it's not working correctly at the moment. It is pretty old. This is probably like one of the first Protoflux things made in here. And there's some questions here. Satan asks, any questions we have for the chat? What would you do post-splitting? I know what I'm doing. I'm probably doing donuts in a couple of vehicles.
I'm gonna try to make some insanely large maps.
And spam my
Like
projectile
5
system. Satan also
Hayden
asks.
also asks, yeah,
Yeah,
you want to?
you get that one. I got the other one.
Same brainwave. Can you expand on the your idea? How would it look like? What would it imply?
I
I
can.
think we should leave a lot of that like mysterious.
Yeah, like there's some things I can say. One is the thing that Fuchs would answer to this question is everything is canon.
Mm-hmm.
That's the quote. But another thing too is all I'm gonna say is Ravi and I have been writing down quite a few things, quite a few ideas. But a lot of those will probably get solidified once we get more time and have some time to sit down with Fuchs to talk more about it. Because I know he definitely has some in-depth in-depth questions about it. But in general, you got the simple concepts: floating bubbles in the sky or world orbs, the colorful crystals. We may as well call it Resonite crystals at this point. And the fruit badges are, as well as the other badges are. Okay. Yeah. That pretty much is it.
Yep. Also, it looks like we are slightly over time actually.
Oh
So we
man.
should probably call it here for now. We got busy talking, huh? Those 30 minutes went by fast actually.
Yeah. Well, I hope you'll enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And well.
Well, first let's
Hey,
answer
hey, hey! I'll get to that. Don't worry, don't worry. The you good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the answer to that, the answer to that is